Hello friend, hope you are doing well. This is the recorded version of what I promised to record. So I usually use Victor's knowledge together with changing character or change of character, so that I can anticipate when price is about to reverse. So I only look for change in character. I only look for change in character in major zones in the weekly time frame or on the monthly time frame. So I draw major zones where I expect price to change character from in the monthly and in the weekly time frame, so that I can move to the 30 or the 15-minute time frame and anticipate when price is about to reverse. So taking for instance, when price was moving up from this zone, taking for instance this AUD USD, when price was moving from this zone up, that was about some months ago, like 5 months ago. So price was moving up, so I anticipated price to change character from this zone. Let me draw that major zone on the monthly time frame, and we refine it on the weekly time frame. So taking for instance, price was at this point. Price was at this point, and I anticipated that price could reach this point and stop to give me a bearish move from that zone. So I go to the weekly time frame and refine that, so that I could show you what I was anticipating. So I went back now that my zone was drawn. I went to the 30-minute time frame and went back to my zone. I'm using phone, so you will be a little bit more confused, but hope you will bear with me. So as price was approaching this my zone, I was now keen to witness or to see my change in character in my 30-minute time frame. So if I would be entering my sell opportunities using just pin bars, I could be entering right at this zone, just to price to move down and then come and stop me right here. Why? Because there is no change in character from that zone. This was my first encounter. Let me delete this. This was my first encounter of price entering my zone right here. Price entered my zone, give me bin bars, right, gave me a pin bar right here. So if I could be entering selling opportunities without confirmation, price could just move down here for me to be stopped. Let me see where I could be stopped. If I entered sell opportunity right here and then stop loss above there, price would move down here, then come and stop me right here. But let me see when we could be having a change in character, how price behaved. So price moved up, no change in character yet, no change in character until we had a change in character right at this place. Right at this place. right here. This was my last lower high that was formed. So when we had a change in character at this place, price moved again up, price moved again up, gave us a selling opportunity right here for us to get a selling opportunity from this zone up to this zone. Let's move to the 4-hour time frame so that we can see that swing right here. This was a swing that we could be taking our first TP at this zone, right? That zone, and our TP was it. That is a confirmation. Now price came down, and again moved up. Let's see if we could be happy. How could we be having a confirmation so that we could be entering that trade? Let me delete everything. Maybe you could understand it much more clearly. Let me delete after price moved above the first zone. After price moved above this zone and violated this zone completely. Let's see now how could we be having our bias. Let me delete that on the weekly time frame. Now let me delete this. Now after price violated this zone, what was the next zone that we anticipated that price could get to and stop? This zone right here. This zone. Let me use a line tool so that I could not be confusing you much more. This zone right there. So that was our next zone that we anticipated price to get to unstop right there. So if we will be using 30-minute candle pin bar or engulfer, let's see how price could have stopped us out. Let's see how price could have stopped us out. So this was our first bin bar. When price encountered this zone. This was our first bin bar. So if we enter this trade blindly, price could get just above it and stop us. But if we waited for a confirmation on the 30-minute time frame, if we waited for a charge in 30-minute time frame, this was our last high, a lower high that was formed as price. Sorry, let me use this line tool. Right here. So price encountered our major zone. Price was moving up and encountered our major zone. So this is the first encounter of price with our major zone. If we entered this trade blindly, we could have been stopped right here. But if we waited for this confirmation of changing character, price encountered, made this swing, which is a lower high, went up, and then that zone caused a change in character. where is our change in character? Our change in character is right at this zone, at this line, sorry. Our change in character was right at this point when this candle lie here closed below that line. So now we will be knowing that we are changing our bias from bullish to bearish. Now we will be changing our bias from bullish to bearish from right from the zone. So since we know that our major zones are drawn from the 4-hour time frame, we could go back to the 4-hour time frame. Remember we are looking for George in the 30-minute time frame, but major zones are drawn from the daily time frame or the 4-hour time frame or the daily time frame. So we have seen that there is a George E from that major zone on the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame is for major zones. Monthly time frame is for major zones too, but we can also use it for market direction. So now we have seen that we have a George from that zone on the lower time frame because price is fractal. Since price is fractal, we have seen that there is a change in character in the 30-minute time frame. Now we go to the 4-hour time frame and draw where do we expect to have our next selling opportunities from. We expect a selling opportunity from this zone right here. Now we can be using the bean bars and then gold bars for entry. Now we go back to the 30-minute time frame and spot out our bean bar or engulfer right here. Price moved down. That this is where we had a change in character. We went back to the 4-hour time so that we can draw our major zone where we can take our next selling opportunity from. So when price moved back into this zone, we could now be looking for selling opportunity in this zone when this pin bar was formed. Or when this pin bar was formed. Let's see the time when that pin bar formed. Let me apply period separators. Okay, around midday when this was in Asian session, and this was in our that was our London session, and this was in the New York session. So if we were taking this trade in line with the New York or in line with the London session, we could have taken this trade right here, right about. Let me delete this. Our work with it is done. So we could be taking this trade right at that point, because the day is starting here and ending here. From here up to about right here is Asian session, and this followed by New York, followed by London and New York. So if we will be using our strategy following a plan, our trade could be triggered right here or right here for us to ride the market all the way down. So after entering that trade, let's see how, since our bias is now bearish. We go to the weekly time frame and set our take profits. First take profit will be right at this point. This was our first TP, and our second TP is right here for swing traders just like us. So since that is done, we could just be looking for where we will be entering, where we'll be looking for more selling opportunities on the weekly time frame using Victor's strategy. So when our bias was bearish from this zone all the way to this zone, now we will go on the lower time frame, like the 4-hour time frame, draw these zones out. A zone like this was a zone that we will be looking for a selling opportunity. Another zone like this was a zone that we will be looking for selling opportunity. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame so that we can see that much more clearly. This is another zone right here. So we will be just looking for selling opportunities for us to re-enter the market all the way from this zone to this zone, just fixing our mind on sales. That is already happening. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame so that we can see how price reacted around those zones that we have drawn from the weekly time frame. This was our first entry. This did not give us a re-entry because price broke this zone, and then we did not see a retest for this zone. For this zone, there was a re-entry right here, and we would have taken a profit right at this zone. If not so, we could have been stopped out right here. Let's see. Because we did not anticipate a change in character from this zone. Price reacted from this zone, gave us a change in character, but we were not expecting a change in character from this zone, so we could not be changing our bias to bullish. So if we could have changed our bias to bullish and price came back into this zone and did not give us our entry, so that would be a loss for us. This was another zone that was broken, a major zone on the 4-hour time frame. See how price gave us back a re-entry. That is a zone we are focused on. That it was a zone that I sent you set up last time, but we missed the re-entry on AUD USD, and this is another zone. That I just drew, and I sent you the setup. So we were expecting another re-entry from this zone down into this line, the last TP. So we will just be bugging our pips let me move to another pair so that maybe you will be understanding that much more clearly. What is happening on GBP? A euro order. Let me delete everything so that we can see how I just figured it out. Okay. Let me go to the weekly and delete everything. Okay. So from what Victor preaches, we go to the monthly time frame and see what has been happening. We select the last 3 to 4 months. So price has been coming all the way from the up here, from what we have been taught. I want you to see what I am seeing. I want you to see what I'm seeing. Let me delete period separators. So let's take for instance, it was up to last month because we are just starting this month. So from last month, price was reacting off this zone right here down to this zone. Let me read that. We were done with sales up to this zone. We were done with selling pairs up to this zone. So how did I anticipate that price was changing character? What the swing it guy is doing? So I came to the monthly time frame and drew this major zone, because we are anticipating that price change character from major zones on the weekly or on the monthly time frame. Sorry. So I drew that. Let me go to the weekly time frame. As price now was coming down. Let me take for instance from this zone, because that is the latest movement. So as price now was coming down, that zone was pre-drawn on the weekly time frame. I was anticipating a change in character from this zone. So now I go to the 30-minute time frame and wait for it. It's not showing up. Let me draw a line so that we can see where that major zone is, because if you zoom in, that zone fades away on the lower time frame. Let me draw a line on this zone right there. So now we are expecting a change in character from this zone on the lower time frame. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame and see that. So as now price came into this zone, if we could have used this 30-minute pin bar, this first interaction of price into this zone, we could have been stopped out right at this point. But let's see, if we waited for a change in character, if we could be more patient for changing character to happen. So this was the last swing high. If at all this pin bar was so strong, it could have changed price from bearish to bullish, right? But we did not see a change in character from that pin bar from that pin bar interaction with our major zone. We did not see price react from this major zone, giving us a pin bar that would break this lower high. Okay. But if we could have been more patient and wait for price to interact with this zone and give us a change in character like this. This was the last, let me delete this. If we could be more patient for price, if we could be more patient for price to break this lower high. This was the last low high that was formed before price reacted fully with our major zone on the monthly time frame or on the weekly time frame. So price reacted and gave us a change in character right here. So when price now could come back into our major zone, we could be anticipating buying opportunities from those zones. So now we got back to the 4-hour time frame. Now we go back to our 4-hour time frame and draw what we call our major zones, where we expect price to react from and give us buying opportunities. We can even go back to the daily time frame. Delete this. We are expecting price to be bullish from this zone all the way to this major zone on the weekly time frame. This zone. Are we together? So now price has changed character on the lower time frame, and now we are expecting bullish momentum from down here up. We got back to the 4-hour time frame and start drawing out major zones. These are major zone. If you had seen me draw out it, this was our first major zone when price changed character, where we could be taking what we call buying opportunities. So if price was right at this point, we could later be taking buying opportunities from this major zone or this major zone. Okay, back to the daily time frame. This is another zone. This is another zone. This is another zone right there. So for back to the 4-hour time frame, these are 3 zones. Good. My arrow. When price was here, let's say here, we will be expecting price to react either from this zone or this zone. When price came up here, we will be expecting price to react off maybe this zone and this zone, because we are considering the latest zones. Now that price is at this zone, we are expecting price either to react from this zone or maybe another zone that will be formed maybe right here. Let's say, and sorry, I'm using phone so you understand fully how my phone is limited of space. So let's say price has reacted just off this zone. If price comes down and gives us another zone right here, we'll be drawing another zone right here maybe, so that we can just be concentrating on buying opportunities from this lower zone on the monthly time frame into this zone. Bullish momentum, bullish bias. Very simple. what the just swing it guy is doing. Very simple. So let me know if you have questions later on. Thank you for your time. Let's do this together. Thank you.